Yes.
Mr. Mattson, don't interrupt me, please.
Right,
Mr. Mattson, do not interrupt me, please.
I think the court is making a big mistake here.
Mr. Mattson?
I've never signed anything for
Mr.
the court.
Mattson, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to your device.
Well, I didn't want
Mr.
Mr.
Mattson,
Daly
stop
as my
talking.
attorney. I'm a living flesh and blood man. They're trying to sentence an all caps name. It's not me. I'm a living flesh and blood man. You're after a...
Sure. Here's a cleaned up and engaging rewrite of your post that keeps the tone sharp and entertaining. Just watched one of the wildest courtroom showdowns ever. This sovereign citizen went head-to-head with a judge who does not mess around. The guy would not stop rambling his usual nonsense, but the judge stayed cool, firm, and absolutely shut him down at every turn. Honestly, this might be the most irritating sovereign citizen I've ever seen, matched with one of the most savage, no-nonsense judges out there. The contrast is chef's kiss. Drop your guesses in the comments. What do you think this guy's IQ is? Because if I had to guess, it's hovering somewhere around room temperature. Let's get into it and watch this guy get wrecked by the judge's brutal sentencing. Want me to tweak the tone more? Funnier, meaner, more neutral?
The only one I've ever taken an oath to is God Almighty himself. There's only one lawgiver, one creator, one judge. That's God Almighty. That's who I recognize.
And, sir, you are Robert Joseph Mattson, correct?
Well, I'm a living flesh and blood man, attorney for a public officer or statutory citizen judge. I'm a living flesh and blood man.
All right. You are the living flesh and blood man who's known as Robert Mattson, correct?
Attorney for Robert Joseph Mattson, which would be the all caps name. Judge, there was something that I was trying to talk to my attorney about. Before you let me out of the hospital, I was in the hospital or the jail. I was experiencing a lot of pain and trouble. The jail was not treating me properly. After I got out of the jail, I went to the hospital, and they hurried and rushed me to Toledo Hospital, where I almost died. Had I not been released from jail when I did, I would be dead in that county jail.
All right, Mr. Mattson, we're here for your sentencing hearing today. I'm not really able to address issues of medical treatment while at the jail.
Well, I was just saying that there was something I agreed to.
Mr. Mattson, don't interrupt me, please. The medical treatment that people receive at the jail is not within my purview, and I'm not going to address that today. So,
well, I was just saying I was going to address my.
Mr. Mattson, do not interrupt me, please. Have you had an opportunity to read and review your pre-sentence report?
I did with the secretary for Mr. Daly.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss your pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly?
I haven't had an opportunity to discuss it with him. I did with the secretary.
My secretary got a hold of him.
Mr. Daly, if you could just let me allow him to finish his answer. What were you saying, Mr. Mattson?
I did with the secretary. I talked to her over the phone and told her everything looked good. And I believe Mr. Daly was supposed to get back a hold of me. I don't know if he got too busy or something else happened.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mattson. Mr. Daly, you wanted to say something on that issue.
Yes, sir. My secretary contacted him in regards to the PSI. He said everything was right. He had no complaints about anything. I still tried to contact him back, didn't get an answer.
All right. So what we'll do is have, if Mr. Daly, if you'd be willing to step out into the hallway, we have an iPad out there that we can log into the Zoom session.
But I don't think he needs that. He's ready to be sentenced, Your Honor. You have any other questions, Mr. Mattson?
Yeah, Judge, I think the court is making a big mistake.
Absolutely. Here's a sharper, cleaned up rewrite with that same sarcastic, biting tone. Oh yeah, totally. Clearly. It's the court making a huge mistake here. Not this guy. Definitely not the dude who sounds like he escaped a mental asylum and is now passionately arguing with the wall like it owes him money. I mean, seriously, how is threatening a judge right before sentencing supposed to help your case? He tried to backpedal and say it wasn't really a threat, but I don't know, you be the judge, pun intended. Drop your takes in the comments. If he actually thought that little performance was going to win the judge over, he might be way more delusional than we originally gave him credit for. At this point, I'm just waiting for him to pull out a tinfoil hat and start ranting about government mind control. This courtroom circus just keeps getting better. Want me to turn this into a video script style or keep it as a post-commentary?
I appreciate that, Mr. Matson, and we've
I'm not
discussed
doing
it
any
before.
of my rights or immunities. I'm not a statutory citizen. I am sovereign. I'm not somebody who's under the
Mr. Matson,
jurisdiction. I've never signed anything for
Mr.
the court.
Matson, if you don't
in the
stop talking, I'm
contract.
going to mute your device. Okay? I've discussed all of these issues with you before.
Okay.
And
Well, I object, but I mean, if
Mr.
you're going to
Matson,
sentence me, that's what you're
all
doing.
right. I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he won't stop interrupting me. Mr. Matson, what I'm trying to tell you is that we had discussed these issues before. You've raised those issues. I've ruled against those issues. And ultimately, you pled guilty of your own choice to the controlled substance possession of narcotic less than 25 grams. And so I'm going to sentence you on that charge today. If you'd like, I will have Mr. Daly step into the hall and you can have a breakout session with him so you can speak with him about your pre-sentence investigation report. If you have questions or things that you want to talk with him about regarding that report. So I'm going to unmute your device now, and I want you to tell me whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. You want a breakout session with Mr. Daly?
Well, I've tried to talk to Mr. Daly before, I mean,
Mr.
about this.
Matson,
And
answer my question. Do you
Yes,
want
sir.
a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Your Honor, you're going to do what you're going to do. I mean, I've tried to talk to the courts and reason with the courts. I mean, if you're going to sentence me today, then I just file for an appeal. I'm an objection to anything that happens today. I was under duress when I took the plea due to my life was at stake.
Mr. Matson, please answer my question. Do you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Mr. Daly hasn't been much of help for me, Your Honor. So I mean,
That
the
is
court,
not an answer to my question, Mr. Matson. Please answer the question. Do you want a breakout session with him or not?
sorry, Your Honor, it just ain't been doing me any help, no justice at all. I mean, I've already said what I had to say. If the courts is going to sentence me today, then that's what they're going to do. I don't agree with anything that's going on today. I'm sorry. It's just my life was at stake when I had talked to the courts.
All right, Mr. Matson, please stop
Yes, sir.
talking. So you refuse to answer my question about whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not. The law
Well, I
entitled-
didn't want
Mr.
Mr.
Manson,
Daly
stop
as my
talking.
attorney.
Definitely. Here's a polished and punchy version of your post, keeping the sarcastic humor intact. Is it just me, or is anyone else getting serious Charles Manson vibes from this guy? Okay, maybe I'm kind of kidding, but also not really. I seriously can't stop staring at that ridiculous hat perched on his head like he's heading to a rodeo right after court. Pretty sure hats aren't even allowed in courtrooms, but of course, Mr. Sovereign Citizen here thinks he's above the rules like always. He's checking every box. Hat on indoors, constant interruptions, refuses to answer basic questions. Yep, classic sovereign citizen behavior in full effect. And honestly, I can't wait to see the look on his face when the judge finally drops that massive sentence on him. It's going to be chef's kiss courtroom justice. Want to keep going with this series? I can help you build a whole breakdown of sovereign citizen courtroom moments.
The record, I placed Mr. Matson on mute again because he's continually interrupting me. Mr. Matson, what I'm trying to explain to you is that you have the right to discuss your pre-sentence report with your attorney before the sentencing. I've asked you 4, 5, maybe 6 times now whether you want to have the opportunity for that breakout session, and you won't give me a simple yes or no answer. So what I'm going to do right now is ask Mr. Daly to step into the hallway. We'll set up that iPad. I'm going to put you in a breakout session with Mr. Daly in order to make sure that I comply with your rights to have that breakout session. So at this point, I'm going to set that up, whether you want it or not, so that we have complied with that requirement.
A few minutes later.
Judge, I just had a repeat of him from the conversation you already had. I'm prepared for sentencing.
All right, Mr. Mattson, you've now had an opportunity to discuss the pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly. Is that correct?
No, he didn't want to hear me, Your Honor. He just told me that he was here to get me sentenced. I tried to talk to him about things. I tried to talk to him before we even went to court about things that was going on with my life and me about dying, and as far as being incarcerated in jail, which he didn't ever try to help me out, because if he would have did an investigation and known that I was in court and I was wrongfully put in jail. I told him I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. I mean, he don't care to do anything to help me. All he cares about is just helping you guys out and get me sucked into the system, and it's wrong.
All right, for the record, I did provide Mr. Mattson with an opportunity with Mr. Daly in a breakout session. Mr. Mattson.
Yes, sir.
Satisfied with Mr. Daly and the advice that he's given you?
I'm not satisfied with the advice he's giving me, no, sir.
Do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that's in your pre-sentence report?
The stuff that's in the pre-sentence report is directed to a statutory citizen. I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. You cannot be a constitutional person and a statutory person at the same time, Your Honor. You have to be constitutional rights, which the court's designed to protect rights. So I was asking you, Judge, are you working as a banker or a judge today? I mean, there's nothing to show that there's even is there anything to show that there's even a contract between us? I mean, is there?
This isn't a contract issue, Mr. Mattson.
Well,
it's a criminal law
in order
issue.
for the crime to exist, Your Honor, there must be an injured party. Is there an injured party? I mean, in the constitutional rights, share versus colon 481 F 945. In order for there to be a crime, there ought to be an injured party. If there's no injured party, there's no.
Absolutely. Here's a cleaned up version that keeps the same energy, humor, and attitude. 2 words: drug test. This dude is tweaking hard, and it's not even subtle anymore. Either he showed up to court high as a kite, or he's crashing from not having access to his little stash while locked up in the hospital, or, hear me out, maybe he's just straight up brainless and incapable of forming a single coherent sentence. I'll let you guys decide. Is he tweaking, or just totally lost in the sauce? Drop your take in the comments. Also, for the record, yes, you can commit a crime without an injured party. Threatening a judge. Still a crime. Resisting arrest? Also a crime. It's not some no victim, no crime fairy tale. That's like saying it's okay to rob a store as long as no one cries about it. Make it make sense. Want to do more like this? You've got a solid voice for viral court commentary.
All right, Mr. Mattson, you're arguing the basis of your conviction. Again, you pled guilty to this charge. What I'm asking you is whether, Mr. Mattson, what I'm asking you is whether you'd wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that is in your pre-sentence report. So is any of that information inaccurate?
Inaccurate as far as the person that reports they're trying to sentence in all caps names. It's not me. I'm a living flesh and blood man. You're after a fictional person.
All right. So with respect to that argument, what the court will say is that I will leave the information that is in the pre-sentence report in the pre-sentence report and deny what seems to be some kind of a request to modify the pre-sentence report based on an argument that doesn't state any cognizable legal theory about a difference between Mr. Mattson as a human being and Mr. Mattson as something else. So the pre-sentence report will stand And
Well,
because-
Your Honor, you never even explained to me what
Mr.
the jurisdiction was. I tried from the beginning to
Mr.
see what the
Mattson, all
jurisdiction
right,
of the court is.
I'm going to mute Mr. Mattson again because he continues to interrupt me with a line of argument that I don't even know what to say about it. It just is, it's not a legal argument at all. It is some kind of fanciful belief that there's a difference between Mr. Mattson, the human being, and Mr. Mattson as some other entity, which is not recognized by the law, and I'm not going to entertain it any further. The probation officers calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines in this case to be from 0 to 9 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines,
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Daly? Sorry,
I do.
Thank you. Before the court passes sentence, Mr. Daly, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Mattson?
I've had the same conversations with Mr. Mattson the courts have. He's never wanted to talk about this case. He's always wanted to talk about what he perceived are constitutional issues. He pled guilty. He knew what he was doing. I do know that. I'm prepared to complete the sentence.